because I think I was a very straight passing girl when I started YouTube 8 years ago. I think everyone thought I was straight until I had a girlfriend and then I had another girlfriend. People were shocked and it was a thing, like, oh wow, she is from the community. This video is about how did I become from the community. No, this video is about my thoughts of being bisexual. I don't think I had processed my sexuality before this point in my life. I think with your queerness, you take time to process how you feel, what you are in life. It's like choosing a career, you cannot do it in 1 year. And of course, it has taken all my life, and sexuality is very fluid, it can change, but at least I have processed what I am till now. And it's to choose whoever I want to love, really. I don't make a difference if I'm choosing a woman to love or a man to love. For me, it's just a person. And if we didn't have these constructions, I would not know why is it different to choose a woman or a man to love. My long relationships, like my more stable ones, have been with women. So I've had mostly like lesbian type relationships. Then sexually, I've been more with men because, of course, I'm a very straight passing person. And when I was growing up in my town next to Barcelona, of course, I focused more on men because it's what I knew. Then, when I went out of my town and I started growing and I started having more girls as me around, I started in a relationship. So even I went more with men in the beginning, then I fully dated a woman for 2 years. That was a whole experience because I was super in love. It was my first love. I had boyfriends before, but kind of teenagey, 15-year-old boyfriends. That's not a relationship at all. So my first real love was a woman, and I was like, oh, maybe I can only fall in love with a woman. That's how I felt. Like that was my doubt. So then I started doubting if I was a lesbian because it was a very lesbian relationship and my partner also was fully lesbian. So being 2 years in a close relationship, just in love with a woman, makes you think that maybe to be with men it was just a phase. So it's very fluid and it's a long process. So yeah, now I can confirm I'm fully bisexual and it's not a phase. Maybe the phase was my heterosexuality and my lesbianism. Now things are different. Like it changed so much in the past 5, 7 years. But when I was a kid in my small town, maybe I knew two, three friends of my parents or people in my town that were gay, but I didn't even know like lesbians. Maybe I knew one lesbian in my whole town and not very publicly. And we are not even going to talk about bisexuals. Like, I didn't know anyone growing up that was bisexual. Anyone. Even when I fucked a girl the first time and I still fucked men, I didn't know that was a possibility. That's why I think labels sometimes are good to identify where you had and where do you fit in, and for so many situations are good. The bad thing is that you cannot obsess with it because sexuality is fluid, and I'm the only person that I'm going to put the label on me, because if in 2 years I decide to be another thing, it's good also. But I'm 99% sure that I'm bisexual. I've been more with women in long relationships. It's where I understood more that I really like girls, because it was not a one night thing, like just sexual attraction. It was like something serious and a real connection. And, at the end of the day, I'm a girl's girl, and you just feel a different kind of connection. You comprehend each other in the next level. You're very similar, so it's just like a huge bonding. I feel I'm a person that has worked so much on herself. I feel every day of my life I do something to grow as a person. I feel grateful for the life I have, and I feel I'm a successful person. And I haven't found a man that can be at the same level and maybe not have that fragile masculinity. Or maybe I've had connection with men that then they are just not worth it. I don't know, sometimes women, we work more on ourselves. I feel it's changing now, but yeah, I haven't found a lot of men worth to have a relationship. And period, I know so many people and a lot of my girlfriends that are heterosexual that have never been in a relationship, but because they still haven't found a man that is worth their time or their value. Like, it's so complicated. Even my gay friends, like most of them have a lot of flings, a lot, but they haven't found a partner because maybe men take more time than my 22 years of living. I think my bisexuality, one thing that has taught me is to choose better. A lot of people think you can be with everyone, you're not exclusive, you can desire everyone, and I swear I desire less people, because if I can have a very special, good woman, I'm not going to be with a very bad meat man. And same, if I meet an incredible man, I'm not going to stay with a woman that maybe is not a good person or whatever. I think you have more standards because you have more to choose. Simply that. Now, I'm in a relationship with a woman, very happy, and I think I chose a good, and I want to marry her and have kids. That is a whole different theme because it's quite complicated. It's more complicated to have kids with another woman than with a man, of course, but it's a sacrifice you do for a person you love. So I don't care. Being bisexual is also not knowing how your life will be, because you never know if you're gonna end up marrying a man or a woman. Like, you cannot plan very ahead, and that was something that stressed me because maybe I can have kids naturally, maybe I cannot. Maybe I will marry a man in a church, or maybe I'm gonna marry a woman in the Bahamas. For example, I kind of been in a relationship with a man too. It was so different traveling with him than traveling with my ex-girlfriend or my girlfriend, because I'm sorry, it has nothing to do. Like, in half of this world is illegal to be a lesbian or bisexual or gay. I've been in trips being a lesbian couple. In most places, they ask you if you are related, if you're cousins, if you're sisters. You cannot kiss the other person in public. You need to be careful where are you traveling. And with a girl, it's not that easy. And period, like, life is different if you choose something and if you choose the other. And I used to think, like, oh fuck, it's not worth it to love a woman. Like, I was so homophobic with myself. Like, oh, that's a difficult path, why would you choose it? And then after some years thinking like that, I was like, fuck it. Like, being bisexual, you don't choose who you fall in love with, because you're just seeing a person. For you, it's the same. Being queer gives you so many good things. Like, it gives you a community, it gives you sensibility, it gives you having had maybe difficult times and being able to make a good thing about it. It gives you also perspective when you see other people with problems. It gives you empathy. So of course it creates something magic in you and in all the people that maybe has been through the same. But also, being bisexual means having this part of normative heterosexuality. That's what people think. I've been with men, so that could look like it's a heteronormative thing. I need to tell the world that it's not like that, because even if I date a man, this does not make me less bisexual than if I date a woman. And this does not make me less from our community. I was very scared when I was with a guy, like 1 year in total. I had a connection with this guy, and first I had feelings and it was fun, but then I realized he was not what I wanted to for like a serious thing. That period of my life, I was very fed up of women because I had a terrible experience before. I was meeting more guys till I met this one. He taught me so many things because I had this doubt if I was lesbian, if I was not. And I realized I was bisexual. Like, he helped me so much. I was like, oh no, I still like men. I still can connect with men. I still feel comfortable with men. And that does not make me less from the community. He taught me so many stuff about men that I comprehended because I have a lot of daddy issues and maybe I don't have a very strong relationship with my father. So I've always been more in the woman's side. He helped me so much in thinking, oh, I could marry a man too. Not him, but I could marry a man. Because I think before him, I thought men more for casual stuff. Like, I loved having sex with men, but I would never get too intimate with my feelings, personal stuff. Like, I wouldn't search a connection, more like a sexual thing. Maybe also I had patterns with those daddy issues. Like, I think I used men more for sex than I've ever used women. Because with women I feel guilty, but with men it's like, I'm using them for sex, but they are using me too for that. So, yeah. And now I'm gonna tell you the different sexual experiences that I've had with both. So I've had sexual experiences with men or women. I know a lot of people are curious about this because they always ask me. Like, they always ask me if it's different, if I like one more than the other. I must say that I think a lot of bisexual people are not fully honest about it. And it's reasonable because it's an intimate thing and you don't have to give explanations about this to someone that asks. But I'm gonna tell the internet about it. So yeah, I love fucking all genders. I love sex, so it's completely different. Starting with the basis that sex is different with different people. Sex is different when it's a spontaneous thing, a one night stand, where you're in love, when you have a very strong connection, when it's with someone with a lot of experience, even depending on how you like that person energy or body, the sex is better or worse. I've only been with two genders. I've only been with men and women, so I can only talk about that. I feel sex is very different. A woman's body has nothing to do with a man's body. Nothing to do. Women like to be touched different than men in the majority, like, I'm speaking generally. The sensibility is different, the roughness is different if it's with men or it's with women. But of course, inside that, there's also differences because of the energies. There's masculine energy and feminine energy. And that does not mean that a man has to have masculine energy and a woman has to have feminine energy. Because I've met so many men with feminine energy and so many women with masculine energy. And I've been with both. It's a big world out there, and more if you are open minded like me. And the big question is, always, when you are with a woman in a relationship, do you miss dick? That is the most asked question when I say I'm bisexual. It's what catches more people's curiosity. And you know what? It's that, yes, I'm sorry, but sometimes when I've been in a relationship with women, I've missed dick. Like, I'm sorry, you miss some things that you did before in your life. The majority of people that are in a relationship, maybe sometimes you think, oh, I would kiss another person in this party, or I would do something else because you miss experimenting and being with another person. But is it a need? Are you going to do it? Are you craving it so much that you cannot hold yourself? Most times, no, because you love your partner, so it's fine. Or imagine you've always been with a girl with big titties in your life and you fall in love with a girl with small titties. I'm sorry, but you love that girl with small titties. Maybe you cannot put your face in those big titties anymore. It's fine. It's completely fine. It's valid to miss it, but you're not gonna take it. And before anyone criticizes this, I'm talking about my experience, my bisexuality, not about other people's bisexuality. Maybe your girlfriend that is bisexual does not miss anything. But same as I say that I miss dick sometimes, when I was with this guy, in the beginning when I started having sex with him, I went to grab her titties as if they were there, and they were not there. And I was having sex, like regular heterosexual sex, and I was thinking, I would eat my girl right now, and there's no girl. And I would do it. So, same, like when I was 1 year just with men, I missed so much eating a girl. So much. So, yeah, you miss all things that you've done before, but that does not mean anything. Or I hope that if you're bisexual, you can talk about this with your partner, because I also had a relationship before that I could not talk about this because I was criticized because I was bisexual. And wow, everyone wants you, you want everyone, you miss everything, you will end up with a man because you are not lesbian enough, like things like that. Do not be with a person like that because that is biphobic. I'm sorry, I'm choosing you before all the women and all the men in this world. Like, you should be grateful. You should be grateful. Like, you're lucky. So if someone is seeing this video and questioning their sexuality, my advice is just try, experiment, and do whatever you want with your life, with your body, with your feelings. You are only gay, bisexual, lesbian, queer when you put your label yourself, when you have processed that you like that. Also, just try. Like, there are so many people in this world that have fucked or had something with a person from their same sex and you don't know. So many people have tried it. So if you're curious, just try. You never know. And what you've been waiting for? My coming out experience. When was the first time I realized that I was queer? My first memory that I felt something different with a girl was when I was 12 years old. And I remember going to my therapist because I was going for other reasons and telling her, oh, I have this kind of different relationship with this girl in my class. And I feel I want to kiss her, and I was in a very posh, not very open minded school. I was thinking, wow, I want to kiss her. Like, why is happening this to me? Like, is it bad? And I remember my therapist telling me, don't be worried about that. Like, don't give too much attention on that. It's fine. You will see. And then I remember secretly in the bathroom of my grandparents' house checking gay books in the internet when I was like 14. My first sexual experience was in fourth of ESO. I don't know how to say this in English. It's like when you are 15 before doing like your bachelor and stuff. I was intimate with a girl. We did a sleepover, a regular sleepover with your friend, and we watched a movie, and some lesbians appeared in this movie, and it was a very sexual movie. I don't know if you've seen Below Her Mouth, but so when the sex started to appear in the movie, we started having sex. That was the story. Wow. And then we didn't talk about this, and we went to sleep as if nothing happened. So I did not lose my lesbian virginity with my ex, that a lot of people think it was when I was 15 years old. And I think it was before even fucking a man. Yeah, before. So queer since forever. And it was very different back then. I did not talk about this with anyone. I remember telling a girl that she's not bi or queer, but she was like the most strange, open minded in my school. So I just grabbed her and I was like, please, 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 you need to hear that. I kissed a girl. This happened to me. What the fuck do I do? I needed to express myself and I didn't know who could I tell that to. I did not tell my parents. And then I felt so dirty for weeks. It was so different. We didn't have like TikTok or places like that to search more queer people. There was only one queer person in Spain, I think, like in media. I just felt so dirty, and now I feel so bad for my 15-year-old Clara. But that was the reality back in that moment. So then after that, I changed schools. And when I was 16, I went to an art school. And then I met one of my best friends, Mare. And she was my first ever lesbian same age as me to meet. And she was super, super, super masculine in that moment, like short hair, the typical lesbian that flirts with everyone. So yeah, in the beginning, she flirted with me, and I was like, "What is this girl doing?" Like, I'm so heterosexual because I didn't know what bisexuality was. As I said, like I was so confused. I just had that thing and I continued meeting my guys. Then I was an ally for 2 years with my friends. Like my friends were hooking up with each other, my two best friends. In that time of my life, I also had a thing with a guy, blah, blah, blah. Till I moved to Madrid and I started meeting with girls. And in that moment, like the first December in Madrid living alone when I was 17, I realized I was not only attracted to women, I wanted to meet with them, have dinner with them, and maybe have dates and maybe date. And in that moment, I had a full crisis because all my life I knew that I was attracted to women, but I never thought I could date a woman. Like, never crossed my mind. And I don't know, I just felt free, I guess, in that new city. And I met a girl before my ex that woke me up a bit. Like, I was obsessed with her, but she's in the closet still. And then I met my ex and I started a relationship with my ex. But my mother always tells me that when I was a kid, and when I was 5 years old, and people asked me, like, "Oh, do you have boyfriends at school?" Like, the typical question that they ask to 5-year-old girls. And I always answered, "Boyfriends or girlfriends?" Ha ha ha. I swear, like, it was inside me, very inside, but I think I knew all my life. And then when I started thinking about that, I realized there was so many moments in my life where I could tell that I was bi. Like seeing all the TV shows, knowing the person that I like more in the TV show is clearly bi, and then 3 seasons after it was lesbian or bi. I swear God. So my mother knew since the beginning. I didn't have to tell her. Had conversations about sexuality all my life with her. I told her when I had a girlfriend, and I told her like, "Oh, I'm seeing a person, it's a girl, blah blah." That's it. And she was in charge to tell to the rest of my family. She told my grandpa and my brother and my uncle, so I didn't have to do that. I didn't ask her, but I didn't have to do it. And then my father, we've never had the conversation with that side of my family because I'm half Chinese Malay. So there's a culture shock here. In Malaysia, it's like 20 years prison to be gay, I think, because it's a Muslim country. I think my family accepts it a bit more. One of my father's best friend is gay, I think, but he doesn't talk about it, and he never has reached to me to talk about it. And I'm afraid, not afraid, but I don't want to have that conversation either. And 2 years ago, I was telling him about this guy that I was seeing, and he told me like, "Oh, you're not with that girl anymore." And that's the only approach he did to me about my queerness. It was natural and it was nice. So, and then with my cousins, they grew up in Australia, not in Malaysia anymore. So I also talked about it. They are very open like me. My grandparents, I don't know, but do they have to know? When I marry someone, yes. If not, I will just skip that conversation. I hope you understand my thoughts of my bisexuality. I needed to do this video because there's still a lot of stigmas and a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of biphobia. I've heard so many times things like, "Oh, I would never date a bisexual person because they have a bigger range of people to hook up with." And I'm sorry to tell you, if someone wants to cheat on someone, they will do it with the person next door, with their cousin, or with all the range of people that they can access. Also, there's a lot of stigma in, "Oh, it's just a phase, it's just a phase." Well, I've been bisexual my 22 years of my life. I think I have experienced enough to tell you it's not a phase. And even a lot of lesbians have told me, like, "It's a phase. You will ultimately be lesbian in the future." And I'm sorry, of course, for some people can be a phase. Maybe in some years I end up being a lesbian, but that will be my choice, and no one has to tell me anything about this. And also, I can't talk for them because it's completely different to be a bisexual man than to be a bisexual woman. Women are more sexualized in their life. If you are straight, bisexual, lesbian, like you are sexualized, imagine being bisexual. It's like triple sexualized, like you are the special coin, for couples to play with. I think we are all humans trying to choose what resonates more with us. I haven't chosen being bi. Like, I think I was born with it or discovered it, but it's not something that I can change. I'm just being free and choosing whatever I want. And I'm not more promiscuous, or I will be more a cheater, or I'm less trustful because I'm bi. And also, I'm not less lesbian for being bisexual, and I'm not less straight for being bisexual because I'm not lesbian and I'm not straight. I'm bisexual and it exists. We need to cut that stigma that, oh, but you're not enough from the community. Bitch, I'm from the community. I'm a letter there. I'm my own species. And I'm happy about that. And I know there's so many people like me, and we all comprehend each other. And I don't need to be another letter. Strong ending, but that's how I felt, and that's how I needed to express myself. But I hope this is useful for you, really. And I hope you understood me a bit more. It's a very important part of my life, and I hope nothing is misunderstood because it's very delicate to talk about these things in the internet. And I love you guys, and see you in the next video.